Florida State Attorney Dave Aronberg. He is joining us live tonight to talk about this recent tragedy in L.A. Dave, evil, senseless, words that immediately come to mind. Everybody's looking for somebody to blame. I guess my question to start is, did the system fail Brianna by allowing this career criminal to be out on the streets roaming free?
Marnie, it's so tragic, and the system didn't work here. This individual was accused of a felony in South Carolina and then got a $50,000 bond, which is a high bond. But he apparently, according to reports, only had to pay less than the normal 10% of that bond. And then he traveled across the country to California, where he committed additional crimes. And at that point, when you commit additional crimes, you have violated the terms of your pretrial release. So then it would be up to California to hold that individual and then alert South Carolina to extradite him. Apparently, none of that happened. This whole thing is a horrific tragedy. And it does remind me in some ways of the case that you mentioned, the death of Ryan Hughes in our community. And although it's a pending case and I can't talk too much about it, the similarities, according to the public records, are that, I have two homeless individuals who have rap sheets, although in our community, the individual was new to our community. He came down from elsewhere. And you have mental health questions, you have a stabbing case, and you have just a question of what the motive could be. And so these are the questions moving forward, and hopefully we can learn from this to prevent other tragedies from happening in the future.
Well, and the homeless element of all of this, police say Smith is homeless. I've yet to hear any substantial evidence to provide some clarity to that. But if that is the case, does that impact charges at all?
It would not. It would not. It could impact bond, but there's not going to be a bond in this case because it's murder. But where homelessness would matter is at the bond hearing. If you have a crime that allows someone to get bond, if that person has no address, then you usually have a higher bond because that person is clearly a flight risk. But here, it's not going to matter in this case because this is the most gruesome crime that you can be charged with, this kind of murder. And so this person will be held without bond pending his trial.
Walk me through the process of determining mental competency in a case like this. I am sure that at some point it will play a role.
Yes. Okay. First, the question is the defendant competent to stand trial? That's different than the question of whether the person is sane for the defense of insanity. That's different. Now, when it comes to competency, the question is, does the person know the charges against him? Can he comprehend them? Can he assist with his defense? So those are the questions. If he's found to be competent, then the whole process continues, the discovery process, and then moves towards a trial. That's different than the question of whether he was legally insane. That question is whether he has a mental defect and as a result didn't know the difference between right and wrong. And there's one thing that I've seen in the reports, Marnie, that tells me that he likely was sane, that he knew the difference between right and wrong, is that he fled in the back door. And that tells me that, why do you flee in the back door? Well, you flee in the back door so you don't get caught, so people don't see you leaving the scene of the crime. So that is one piece that I'm sure prosecutors will use to say that he is not legally insane.
The other point that this case brings up and grabbed the nation's attention was the debate about no bail and misdemeanor charges in many cases. Do you see things changing after a case like this? Or you look at the case that you're dealing with in Florida. I mean, what happens? We're all shocked. We're all, angry about what happened, particularly the families involved. But then what?
Defendants are entitled to bail, or we call it bond. They're entitled to, unless they commit a murder or they are a extreme flight risk or they risk intimidating witnesses. But generally, most defendants are entitled to bond. So the issue here was not that he received a bond from South Carolina. $50,000 is a high bond. The issue is what happened after he committed additional crimes in California. That's when the system is supposed to work, and you're supposed to hold that person because that person then violated the terms of his pretrial release. Now, there's a different issue going on about bond for lower level offenses. People are getting out without cash bond. And that's a controversy. And the local district attorney in Los Angeles has come under fire for his policies about this. But it's too early to say whether his policies contributed to this, but I'm sure that's going to be a debate moving forward.
Well, and obviously some things fell through the cracks, and I'm sick of the argument of blaming the pandemic for everything, but is the process slower? Is it more difficult to prosecute some of these cases given some of the lag in timing? because of the virus and some of the things that we've seen in terms of delays?
Yeah, Marnie, here the pandemic did come into play because he was arrested for a charge a couple years ago, a felony. That was the one you mentioned about he shot a flare gun into the back of a car where there was a child. And he was awaiting trial out on bond. And the reason why nothing had happened on this case for 2 years was because of COVID. And there's something like a 1,300 case backlog in that South Carolina county. Had there not been such a backlog, I think he would have gone to trial, he would have been found guilty, and had been incarcerated and unable to commit this crime.
And we wouldn't be talking about it tonight. All right, Dave, as always, thank you.
Thank you, Marnie.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.